There are a lot of chapters in Edmonton's queer history that you might not be so proud of. Jason Harley is an assistant professor in the Department of Educational Psychology at the University of Alberta. Thank you so much for being here. So
Pleasure.
when I say there's chapters that we might not be proud of, there's so much that has happened in the city that we really have no idea. The struggle for equality and the things that have happened in Edmonton's queer history. Is that part of why you've designed this app?
Absolutely. It really addresses a gap that we have right now in our curriculum, and really in our curriculum across the country, where, if we think about it, what would our education be like if we didn't learn about things like the civil rights movement, the suffrage movement? It's almost unthinkable to really imagine our perspectives without those pieces.
We would say we're glossing over an important part of history.
And so absolutely, the LGBTQ plus history is an important part, and Canada's been a leader, and Edmonton's been an important part in making Canada a world leader for LGBTQ plus rights. So while there's been events that have been tragic and that have been unfortunate, such as the Pisces Health Spa raid, where individuals from the Edmonton community, police came in, where people were arrested, names were published, and this was at a time when it wasn't safe. There weren't the protections that there are today in terms of work, etc. But then there's also things that we really can and should take pride in as Edmontonians and as Canadians, such as the Delwyn Vren case, which started right here in Edmonton when Delwyn Vren was fired from a position at a local college because people found out that he was gay. And that court case went all the way up to the Supreme Court of Canada, and that is what affords Canadians from coast to coast protection from discrimination based on sexual orientation.
So you've put this app together. It is available for download starting tomorrow, and part of what you've done is made it appropriate for high school students because there's a real gap in the curriculum there.
There is. When I was developing the app, one of the things I did was met with a colleague who specializes in secondary education. And when I sat down with her, she was kind enough to show me what our history textbooks have to say. And this has really been reflected in terms of our primary analysis with undergraduate students from the U of A who've come in and learned about queer history with the app, that people can generally name that LGBTQ people were thrown into concentration camps, and they know about the AIDS epidemic, some of them. So when those are the only things that the people are able to know, it really points to a gap. And that gap wasn't a surprise to me, having a look at what our textbooks are talking about.
So you've put this together then, and we were taking a look there of what it looks like. So it's interactive. You can use it on a computer or a phone. Is that right? And what do you want people to do with the app?
Great question. So it's a cross-platform, multi-device application, and what would be really interesting, people can use it either in classrooms, and I've had some interest from teachers and principals already, which has been fantastic, to integrate into the social studies curriculum as about a 30 or 45-minute module that addresses a gap we have. People can also use it to wander around the city, and what better time of year could we have to walk around the city? So really the idea behind the app is that by providing people with context and historical context, that gives people an opportunity to engage in perspective taking, which is associated with empathy. And empathy, as we know, is also associated with reduced levels of discrimination. Again, we've seen recently hate crimes come up. There was that story you covered in the U.S. About the wedding cake.
With the baker who wouldn't bake the cake for the couple.
So there's definitely we still have a ways to go socially, and the app is designed to help, fit into the curriculum, but also hopefully contribute to social dialogue, a society that is continuing its trajectory towards being more tolerant. And we're really excited that we've noticed from our preliminary analysis in the study that so far interactions with the app lead to statistically significant increases in empathy towards both sexual orientation minorities and gender identity minorities. So for our perspective as a psychology lab in education, this is just fantastic. And so we're really hopeful that people will enjoy using it and that they'll learn something, fill some gaps in their education, and that it'll hopefully help to contribute towards, again, a trajectory towards increased tolerance, understanding, respect, etc.
All of that, yeah.
All of that.
'Cause we do have a ways to go.